Yeah.
We were told we should do a podcast. Do a podcast.
We were told
we
they were
should
like,
do a podcast.
you should do one. And we were like,
everyone was saying it.
everyone was saying it. And we were like, what is
They were
that?
like, you should do a podcast. You should do a podcast. Everybody do the podcast.
What is this word you've just created and thrown in my face?
Yeah.
And then we looked into it and
At least 7 people do podcasts.
at least 7.
I would actually know multiples of 3. At least 9 people do podcasts.
I've listened to a couple, so I know there's at least 2.
Cell phone's on silent.
My cell phone's always on silent.
My cell phone is not in the room.
So we were told that we should talk about Viva La Dirt League.
That's a weird.
And yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're qualified.
No, I don't think so either. So the beginning, we need to really rewind. And the first thing I want to know is, how did you two meet? Like, what was the very first inception? You're like, that's a guy that's cool.
Yeah. Well, we met. God, I would love to know the actual year of this.
Actual dates.
The actual dates. So we met on a film set, and Rowan was the lead actor of a short film where he was playing a New Zealand soldier, and I was playing a German soldier.
Oh.
And I was kind of a featured extra. And Rowan
Was this like a funded short film or just a
I think it was a film school short
It was
film.
a film school short film.
But I think it was one of the grad films, which is like the big ones they do at the end of the year, where they used to actually film it on film stock.
Oh, Jesus.
16 mil film.
And the
So it's
typical
must have been in the
synergy
40s.
was the film school would get acting students from Parody, like the drama school.
Yeah.
It was kind of the normal synergy.
Yeah. And I had just graduated film school and I knew the director, and he got me in as this kind of featured extra role. And Rowan's character had to sneak up on me in the forest and murder me with a knife.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And as he was holding me in his warm embrace and stabbing me in the gut, I was like, we're going to be friends.
Well, you get a lot in even a student short. You get a lot of time between shots to chat, and
Yeah.
I assume you guys were like, here you are in his loving embrace, and it's like they're moving lights and cameras, and you're like, so what do you do?
I remember specifically going, hey, dude, do you want to start a YouTube channel at some
That
stage
day.
about kind of Starcraft?
I remember you
parody
whispering it into my
videos?
ear as you killed me.
Yeah.
As a character, like, and I was like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, baby.
And then the next day we started. No, I remember thinking Rowan was cool, but I really think we both were just like, oh, that was a pleasant encounter, and see you later, mate. And we went our separate ways, and I really don't think we planned on starting a YouTube channel. I don't think we planned on catching up or anything. We weren't like mates at the end of the day. It was just a pleasant first encounter. And then, oh man, I'm trying to remember the next step. Did I get you in a music video?
I'm pretty
after
sure.
that?
So from that first thing where you were like, man, that guy's the best actor I've ever worked with.
That was
ever
like
seen.
my exact thought process.
That's what you would have thought. And then you as an aspiring director was like, well, I've got some plans. I'm making music videos coming up.
Yeah.
I know who I'll get in my music video.
Yeah.
That probably would have been your thought
I think that was literally it.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. And I remember,
I mean, that's what student films like. You're just trying to pull in anyone you fucking
genuinely.
can.
And as a student,
know.
you're just like any competent actor.
Yeah.
Anyone. And I saw Ron was a competent actor, and I was like, yep. And I had, I like, as I still do to this day, I have too many things that I've been wanting to make, but I was like, just tried to get Rowan in like 2 or 3, and like as many of them as I could. And I think it kind of just grew from there. We started hanging out. We would just meet up and play Left 4 Dead 2 in the middle of the Wellington CBD. We'd go to internet cafes and play fucking hours. You remember those?
Well, okay, I don't. Let me just tell you how my memory is framing this.
Yeah.
We worked together on on your music videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I don't actually remember having much to do with each other apart from that until
What did that happen
Starcraft 2
afterward?
came out.
Maybe that was it. Maybe I'm mixing it up. Yeah,
You might be right.
No.
My memory from that long ago.
It was a while back.
Can I help with a story that I think you guys have told me before? Is
Yeah.
you had met once or twice and then were on a plane ride together up to Auckland?
Yeah, so this
or
was
something?
kind of the big one. And this is one of those crazy moments that like just butterfly effect shit. The odds of this happening are just next to none. So my life was in New Zealand was just like struggling filmmaker, not doing anything, was in a pretty rough patch. I decided to go to Europe for a while just to travel, and had a great time. And on the way back, on the connecting flight from Auckland to Wellington, I bumped into Rowan on the flight, and we just got talking about a game we were both mutually excited that was coming up soon, or had just been released, called Starcraft 2. And
Little indie game.
Little indie
People
game.
might not know.
And like then literally that day when we landed, we decided we'd meet in an internet cafe and like jam it, because I probably couldn't afford it, and you had like a free key or something. You had like some sort of free.
Because again, going back to the how unlikely this was, I had also just done a day trip, one flight from Wellington to Auckland for an audition.
Yeah,
which I would never do these days. But
yeah, God.
Back then when I was like a real keen actor, like flew up, did my audition, and then back on the plane, and you just happened to be in your connecting flight.
Yeah,
like the chances of that are so slim.
Yeah,
and then we're like, hey, mate, how you been? Like, and then we're like, oh, Starcraft, we got that in common. Hey, I've got a spare key from when I bought the game. I can give you like a trial demo of the thing. Or so
shout out to Stephen. I think it was Stephen had a
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey, do you want to play it this afternoon in like an internet cafe?
Yeah.
So literally,
so very unlikely.
So as in terms of the building blocks of Viva La Dirt League, like you've got the two of you now. You've got one of the primary building blocks, which is Starcraft 2.
Yeah.
And you guys are starting to jam that.
And I genuinely don't know if we would have caught up and bonded over this had we not been on that flight.
I highly doubt it. I genuinely don't. I think you'd be just that guy from
and you would
just somebody I used to know.
Yeah. Body that I used to know. How much of that can we sing without getting DMCA?
I think it's already happened.
Lost all.
God damn it.
So we've got the building blocks of you guys, Starcraft 2. What led you guys and the other guys who were doing Viva La Dirt League at the time to be like, let's specifically start a YouTube channel and do the very first music video?
This is my recollection of it.
Yeah.
At the time, I was living with I moved up to Auckland, so maybe a little bit after that. I moved up to Auckland and I was living with Byron. Old mate Byron. We've been best friends for a long time. Bryden. You know, and we used to two struggling actors, and we used to make music together, just fucking around, like just that's kind of the music. Saturday night came from me and him just jamming.
It's a Saturday night. It's a Saturday night. Put your jeans on. It's a Saturday night.
We've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then
it's amazing how creative you can be when you have nothing.
We have nothing, and you don't care. Like, and you can just like collab with this person, and they're like an extension of yourself, but you just don't give a fuck. Yeah,
totally. And at the same time, we were starting like there was this like collection of fellow Toi Whakaari actors. Who, and I'm not sure when you joined that, but we were.
You brought me into the fold.
I brought you into the fold.
You were like, I have people. And I was like, I have nobody. So it worked out great. And you were like, come hither. And I followed. And
so we're all playing Starcraft online on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm making like silly songs with Byron.
Yeah.
And then the key moment, inspiration, came from Husky. Husky Starcraft.
Husky Starcraft. God.
Yeah.
I missed that guy.
That's a whole podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole. I genuinely, I could talk about that.
And he made this. The first time I'd ever had this concept of a parody music video.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess another building block of Viva La Dirt League is at the time, parody music video was one of the pillars of YouTube.
It was a beautifully innocent time where if someone just created a parody song and chucked a video on it, that was worthy enough of attention. Like it was just like, oh my God, they swapped that word around that word. That's hilarious.
They swapped the word proto. Oh, okay.
They was like, I don't know, love with the Zergling. Yeah. And and that's amazing. I'm going to share that because I associate with that. And it was like genuinely, it was so easy to be shared. And go semi-viral. Like, we never went viral, but
like outside of Starcraft, like the amount of just parody music videos being made on YouTube was insane.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was like this button for virality. And so Husky Starcraft made this song based on Justin Bieber's "Baby, Baby, Baby," but he just literally just changed it from "baby" to "Banelings."
So, slight extra syllable in there, Husky.
Yeah.
They made it work. They made it work. And it just took off, and we just copied him
basically. Because I remember kind of going like, "Hang on,
wait,
I can sing okay," and Byron can like help me do the thing and da-da-da. And I don't know exactly how the brainchild of, hey, we should get together, actors, filmmakers, singer.
It was.
da-da-da-da.
I vaguely remember. It was just as we were playing Starcraft 2. There were at least 4 of us. We may have even had more of us on the chat just playing the game, and we came together like, look, we literally all have an interest in filmmaking. Let's get together and just do it. Alan, I had a camera that was semi decent.
Oh, did you use your camera the first time?
Yeah. I used my camera. It was the big chunky one for the first couple of bits.
Excuse my ignorance. What was the first music video again?
8 Pool.
8
Pool. That's
Yeah. And I think we shot, God, I can't remember. Do we do the teaser? The first video on Viva La Dirt League's YouTube channel is a teaser video of us all slow motion walking to some badass song.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, Viva La Dirt League, coming soon,
I
coming
love
soon.
how, you guys were real brave.
We were real brave.
Real brave that
We
you
had
thought that
no
people
idea what we
wanted
were
to watch a
teasing.
music video for a channel that hadn't even
We
started yet.
had no idea what we were
Do
doing.
you know what? I think that actually immediately goes to set up the tone of the whole channel is that we were obviously taking the piss of ourselves.
Totally.
From day one,
Yeah.
going like, lol, we're hyping up this stupid music video that's about to come out.
That was never gonna. Yeah, exactly. And I can only assume.
It's the
No,
same tone as Epic NPC Man, which is this epic NPC
Pretty much.
that does nothing. He stands on the side of the road.
Legit. And yeah, I don't think any of us expected anything to really happen with it, and then it just did a whole lot better than we thought it ever could. And that was like a drug.
Yeah.
Seeing the views coming in and subscribers coming in was like a drug.
It went viral on Reddit, right? 8 Pool.
Viral.
And, I mean,
like,
for a first video
Yeah.
of a YouTube channel, I mean, most YouTube channels, their experience with releasing their first videos, they get 5 views.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe a couple of hundred.
Yeah,
Yes,
if you're lucky,
exactly.
a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything's
lost
relative,
that.
and that we filmed it, released it, like lol, and then we were like, "Whoa, this is up to like 5,000 views."
Yeah. What's going
which
on?
back then was like mind blowing.
Yeah, I remember I recently was chatting with a friend on Facebook, and I scrolled up the conversation, and I saw that I'd been talking to him about the first music video, and I was like, bro, we're getting like 500 views a day. And that was like bragging rights for me back then. I was like, holy shit, 500 views a day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just puts everything in perspective. That was just beyond comprehension back then.
Why the name Viva La Dirt League? And instead of giving me the short version, give me the long version.
Man, this is one of those ones that I feel like we've told the story so many times that my memory of this is me telling the story. Like, it's just faded over time. I can't... I remember being at your
I feel
house
like I
throwing
have
ideas.
a fairly solid understanding of it.
Yeah.
We had always called ourselves, I think we had already kind of like jokingly in our game sessions called ourselves Dirt League.
Oh.
I feel like it was like we're just like this bronze. We used to joke about this bronze, silver, gold, all these leagues, Starcraft leagues. Very clearly, you got a nice visualization of it. And I feel like we used to kind of refer to ourselves as, maybe we didn't, but just the name Dirt League just was something that emerged quite quickly.
Yeah.
Dirt League. We're so bad at this game that we're worse than bronze.
Yeah.
And this is how I remember it.
Yeah.
We wanted to make the YouTube channel called Dirt League.
I remember
That's what
that,
we wanted it to
100%.
be called.
Yeah.
And that name was taken.
Was then by taking by some channel that had like 11 subscribers or something.
Yeah.
And I think it was a StarCraft 2 video who just had like YouTube channel that just had a couple of replays on it or something, 0 views, but we couldn't get it.
Yeah, we couldn't get it. And I wouldn't have been me. Someone else would have come up with like, Viva La, or we would have come up with other things, and then it was like, how about Viva La?
Yeah.
Viva La, Viva La, Viva La France, Viva La Dirt League.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of leaning into I remember we very much, in those early days, were leaning into maybe we were inspired by those old Obama posters, that campaign of like the whole like,
Yeah.
oh God, what was his slogan?
Hope?
There was another one. But anyway, he had those real like...
Viva La Obama?
Yeah, Viva La Obama. Yeah. It should have been that. But he had those were like quite propagandish posters, and it was just like... and that was our first thumbnail as well for the title was Paul, who was never part of Viva.
Yeah.
He did a cameo.
He was our model for it.
He was our model for it,
picture.
apparently. And he was posing this like Terran, like marine costume.
Yeah.
And Viva La just kind of tied into that, like as if we're kind of getting some sort of like
Long
call
live.
to arms,
Yeah.
Viva La Dirt League. And I think that was part of our vibe. In fact, it must have been part of our vibe was rally the shitty players.
Yeah.
Like we are Viva La Dirt League, and we're fucking proud we suck at this game for some
It's
reason.
a very similar sentiment to Nerds United.
Yeah,
actually,
it is.
in a way.
Yeah, it really, really is. So much so we even did that video with Matt about look after the
Bronze Week.
Bronze Week. We were trying to get like a Bronze Week thing going.
Matt Whelan.
Matt Whelan.
Every day, thousands of low-level Starcraft players have to live with the crippling fact that they are in Bronze Division.
Who played the counselor therapist in an early board episode with the Star
And then
Wars.
went on to be super fame.
Yeah. He's we need to try and get him back. Which is actually insane. And we did Bronze Week, and we were really trying to look after your bronze players. And I remember we were even considering for a while they're embracing because we had a few Master League people being like, we can teach you, and we're like, and you can teach other bronze leaguers and blah 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 blah, which we never actually leaned into. But yeah,
rewinding a tiny bit. So a genuine question from me is, if Byron was so involved in the music side of it, why wasn't he involved in the videos?
Because he didn't play Starcraft.
Oh, really?
He never played Starcraft. I remember trying to get him into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame because it could have had a kind of a flow-on effect.
Oh, imagine the fucking butterfly effect of that if he was in the videos from the early days. I mean, he's in the videos now, obviously, but
yeah. I think I remember kind of like that thought kind of going, man, I want to get him kind of like this. I want to get him involved, and I think I remember talking to you guys and go, well, he needs to kind of be playing Starcraft and be part of to be part of this.
Yeah.
And I think I remember kind of go, hey, bro, like, do you want to try and get into Starcraft? And
he
might have tried, but it just Starcraft.
I remember him trying. I do remember him trying.
Starcraft is just like if you either want to commit to that game or yeah. And I don't that obviously it didn't land.
Yeah, didn't land.
So obviously there was enough passion to keep doing music videos because there's like 10 or something that you guys did. What was the first one that went viral on Reddit, or noticeably viral?
I think I know. It was Care About Bronze.
Yeah,
like there had been a lot of every single one kind of went mini viral, and we got addicted to that. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You release it, and you release it at that time on Reddit, and you hope for the upvotes.
Oh, especially you'd like.
Oh, bro!
Man, I was like, I remember this. Like, Rowan would you can tell the story when you release a video.
Whenever, because I've been put so much. I was back then. I was just so invested. Like,
you genuinely saw it as a meal ticket, right?
I guess I did. I had the dream of like, but I never thought it was going to be what it is now. I thought we were going to be doing music videos.
Yeah,
I don't know.
God,
but I was so invested back then. I'd be like,
I got a story about them. Okay, yeah, you go.
Like we got the edit and stuff and the song, and I'm giving notes to the whoever was editing back then, because I couldn't edit. I couldn't edit back then, so I was just like notes. We finally got the final package, and I'd upload it, and I'd be like, okay, so I'm going to release it at this exact time, and I think the perfect time on Reddit is this, and then I'd release it, and then I'd post it on Reddit, and I'd kind of like have a fake account to help give it the first upvote.
Yeah, I remember. I think we all did. Yeah. I think you'd share it with us, be like, guys, jump on, like, do the thing.
Okay, and then I start to get some upvotes. I'm like, oh my god. Yes, and then you see that kind of momentum start to, and it's just like, oh, fucking heroin. Like just
it surprises me you're not still like I'm like this. Like, not to that extent, but I still check stats. Stats is like
literally
every morning.
Basically every morning is my routine every single morning, and it has been for years.
Yeah.
Is get up. If there was a release last night, check how it's doing, reply to a few comments, go into the back end of YouTube, look at the actual stats of it.
It's still my stat, and because we're releasing so much content now, it's like it's pretty much every morning.
It basically is every morning. I just do it with my coffee in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. And you just don't give up.
To me, I can't do anything with that information.
Yeah,
I kind of go, oh, cool, it's doing good, it's doing bad. Well, you know,
yeah. For me, I think it's just an addiction at this point. I don't get much from it. I just need to see it. Yeah.
I can't remember what I was kind of answering when I was saying like
the first viral video on Reddit.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And so that was normal. Like everything went pretty well. And then Care About Bronze, but which is based on the Michael Jackson song. I think Care About Us.
Yeah.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Yeah.
But Care About Bronze, fucking genius lyrics.
You're so good, Rod. Fucking hell.
Again, golden age of YouTube.
Yeah. And that one just hit a nerve, and that one just started to go. And then Husky.
Yeah.
You know, harking back to the start, which is what kind of was the inspiration for the entire thing, got in touch with us.
Yeah.
And back then, he was like, from our perspective back then was a superstar.
Oh my God. There wouldn't have been many people in the world that had they reached out to us, I'd be more excited to hear from.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching his shit going back to when I was in Europe when StarCraft 2 first came out. I knew I was going to play StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
I was just watching his like replay videos on my limited Wi-Fi. I'd load up a YouTube video with Husky talking about it. I was like, I can't wait to
Hey guys, welcome to H the Husky. Is it?
Yeah. It's H the Husky here and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And And it was, oh my God. And that was crack, man. And I wish he'd stuck with it. With it.
Podcast for another time.
Another podcast for another time. Yeah, I loved Husky and HD Starcraft were my two.
So what was it like watching that one just go viral and just
if you can see this, it was the visual on this. You might be able to hear it. This is like a needle going into my veins. And then just kind of like just ecstasy of like. I'll give you the sound.
It goes the sound.
What? And by the way, what did Husky say when you got in touch? What was the email?
It was
probably
like,
still got the email.
Probably still got the email. It was like,
from my memory, it was just one of those like, hey, we should do something. I think he was trying to get us into the fold with Maker Studio or one of those different. I don't know why he was doing that.
Yeah,
I think he was trying to be affiliate, like get Viva under his Husky kind of umbrella.
I think he actually had a bit of a business set in mind. It was like, I think he had a stake in Maker Studio.
I think he did.
And
I think he did.
Hey, join the thing, then you can start monetizing, basically.
Yeah.
And now, once money entered the frame,
oh my God,
that's where shit started to go south.
Chapter 2.
Sorry for interrupting our podcast with me, but we are sponsoring this podcast with our merch. Available at VLDL.shop, we have the TechTown Welcome Bundle, which includes TechTown mug, pen, lanyard, and you get an exclusive welcome from manager Rowan. Get amongst, there's incredible stuff over there at VLDL.shop. The link is in the description. Now, back to the podcast.
This got turned me into a possessive, jealous person now.
Yeah. Money's not. Yeah.
So now you're making tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. And it literally was tens of dollars, but we were getting hung up on the prospect of making more money and where that, like, if we did start making a lot of money, how was that going to work out? And I don't think it brought out the best in any of us.
Nah.
But Rowan was doing most of the work at this point.
I mean, he was making the music, singing the songs, the face of the band.
Yeah, legit. And for that reason, and fair enough too, like honestly, fair enough. He was like, I should probably get more. And we tried to figure out a system. Like
what I learned, we tried to have like a shares system. You go, so if you, whatever this video makes, if you are the music maker, then you get this many shares. If you're the editor, you get this. If you're the we tried to come up with this system.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's flawed from the start. There's no way you can make that feel good.
Yeah.
And it was me, man, being so, I've got a plan for the future of like when this becomes massive and I've got to make sure that I've got my stakes and my shares and everything's fair and I get what I want.
Yeah, I get what I deserve.
and what I deserve.
Yeah.
And the lesson from that was everything just has to be split even.
It has to be even no matter what. Like even if one of us like drops the ball for like they're just too busy and go like and off for a month and they come back and they're like, oh my God, like I don't know. It's just it has to be even. Otherwise there'll be like even if they're saying it's not, there'll be resentment that
it's literally that saying that money is the death of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was.
Yeah.
Money was the death of art and friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it caused, I remember just from that day onwards, it was slow, but now that monies and shares and credit and appreciation and all that stuff of like, is now on the line and stuff.
Yeah.
Every decision and thing was everything had now had this flavor of, and I'm as bad as anyone in this scenario was just, but technically, and I should, and I get this and that.
Yeah. It also became apparent that Viva was starting to split down the middle. There were clear alliances being formed with Rowan and myself on one side, a couple of people hovering around, and another side of people that, to the point where I was living with one of them at the time, one of the ones that wasn't Ron. and we're not naming names. And there was a real rift there, and to the point where the guy that I was living with was like, I think I'll start making videos with this other guy, and why don't you start making, like, propose, like, why did you and Rowan start making videos? And then we can both, there'll be like two different groups of people making content. And I was like, that was the moment. I was the band's breaking up. Gotcha. Yeah. So these other guys were like, come over here. And Rowan was like, bro, you can go over there. But just so you know, if you go over there, I don't feel inspired to do this anymore. And there was a point that I had to choose between these other guys and Rowan. And it was an easy choice for me, to be honest, but it was just, there were more people on that side.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to stick with Rowan. God damn it. And I was like, I'm going to Rowan. And we kind of, at that point, everybody else stopped collaborating.
You made the right fucking choice.
I made the right fucking choice.
Well, you guys were the original friends, right?
Was that sorry?
You guys were the original friends.
Yeah.
Like, you met everyone else through Rowan.
I mean, we're not necessarily the original.
Rowan was my original friend, but Rowan was already friends with
we're the
other
original
guys.
part of this story.
So, I mean, in your context, Alan,
exactly.
Rowan was your original
Yes,
friend.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I definitely like.
I just want to also, it's really important for me to kind of like, to clarify that it wasn't, they're not at fault. Like,
No.
You know what was at fault from the sounds of it, from my point of view? Money.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own emotions. Everyone has their own desires. Everyone has their own wants.
Yeah.
And fucking tens of dollars got between them.
Literally,
Tens of dollars.
And it was a bunch of young, like relatively young, immature people.
Yes, exactly.
Who just didn't know how to fucking human and get past how to communicate.
How to communicate.
We didn't know how to communicate
man.
effectively. And like as I said before, I was so possessive of what it was, and they were probably wanting to make it like, oh, turns out we don't like just being like watching Rowan be a singer. We want to actually have some input too. Fair enough. We want to make skits and do stuff that, you know, and here's me going,
more than just you being a band leader.
No, it's all about me. So absolutely, but none of us communicated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% don't harbor any grudge against them.
No,
at all.
Not at all.
It's just an unfortunate situation.
It's just an unfortunate
people
situation.
Didn't communicate around a whole lot of, not a whole lot of money, a few dollars of money.
Yeah, it literally was. Back then, it literally for years never equated to more than a couple of $100 a year of revenue.
Yeah, no, legit.
But it was the thought of what this could mean. You got to make sure you got the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why massive bands who are earning millions of dollars break up, because it's like, here's this lead singer and he's the one who's getting famous. I'm just the bassist. And
exactly. And like, oh, look at the posters and like, oh, I'm in the
shadow in the
I'm
background.
literally, you can't even see me in the background. It's all about, totally. And I don't know why I was, because now that you say it, I'm like, yeah, that's what Viva La Dirt League was. It was Rowan, and we'd literally lip sync to Rowan singing, because nobody else could sing really. And then we'd be backup dancers. I wasn't a good backup dancer. I don't know. I think I was just in love with the idea of what the channel could kind of become, and I wanted friends to make content.
It's interesting because apart from Rowan, that is basically all the rest of you were was backup dancers.
Yeah, legit. Mm-mm. I think we were trying other things. We tried to do some like Starcraft 2 game like recordings, and there was always some dirty Starcraft for a while. But music videos were always the thing that only thing people watched.
So that's actually a really good segue into my next thing. So the band's fallen apart. It's just now the two of you. You've got the keys to Viva La Dirt League.
Yeah.
There's a while of not doing anything. But what was the inspiration for Bored? Because that was still prior to me.
Yeah.
That was the basically next beginning of Viva La Dirt League.
For me, it just came down to what could literally two people film by themselves. And I loved the idea, like we were gamers, so we're like, okay, where could we be? And eventually just reached tech store. So I can't remember if we both drove out there, or maybe it was just me, but I went out to Playtech and just walked in and met with Paul, who was standing at the counter. I was like, hey, I have a YouTube channel, can we film here? And surprisingly, he was like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just I'll be in the office and you guys film whenever.
In terms of being like very, what's the word? not integrated, but like in touch with the New Zealand gaming community and everything. Paul was really good in terms of Had you met him prior at Starcraft tournaments, or was that after?
It was after. After.
I feel like I definitely was familiar with the name Playtech. Just I'd seen Playtech banners. Just
I can't remember that
tournament.
Even though Playtech's just a tech store, he would run like gaming competitions, and he sponsored like sponsored parts of like conventions and stuff.
Yeah, he'd always have a really decent stall at like Armageddon and
So it seems, apart from if you see it as just a random tech store, then it's pretty random. But when you see him as being quite a big part of that community in New Zealand, it was actually a really good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm amazed that he embraced Viva the way that he kind of did, to be honest. Like,
especially considering it's so small at the time.
So small at the time. Yeah, and so that was just thank God for Paul back then. Genuinely, like we wouldn't have been able to do board without that, because we couldn't. I couldn't think of anywhere else we could go. And yeah, it was just literally the two of us and a camera and a tripod and filming the first few episodes.
So that second episode went crazy viral on Reddit.
Yeah.
What did you see as a future for skits at that moment? Don't go too many days into the future. What did you see as a future from that?
I remember thinking we've made it.
Yeah,
I remember just thinking straight up. You were overseas at that time.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking at that moment, holy shit, we made it. That's it.
Click.
Yeah.
I remember thinking,
now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And now episode 3, guaranteed going to pop off as well.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
They finally found us.
I remember thinking exactly that. Like, there's 500,000 people have finally found us, and they will follow us anywhere.
So every video from now on is baseline like 500,000 views.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the next video gets
how naive.
The next video gets 3,000, 4,000.
We'll be like down there.
Yeah. And that's when we started losing subscribers. Like really noticing that every board episode we do now loses subscribers. And we genuinely had conversations. We had plenty of conversations about this over the time of doing board. Like, because the way that we did board back in the day was we would go out and film one episode. I'd finish work, tired as fuck, pack up my car, put the camera on, I'd probably pick up Rowan and would go out to the thing and we'd film it in the evening and do one episode. And then I can't remember who it edited.
Return on investment, man.
Return on investment. Oh my God.
I mean, you're only doing one episode every few weeks, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. One episode every few weeks. So there was no momentum there. The algorithm could never pick us up and nurture us.
What was it like? So there's, until I came along, there was like 25 or 30 episodes or something. I can't remember. What was it like? It must, because basically, apart from episode 2, nothing really stuck.
Well, I tell you what it was like. It was like, might as well. It was like, that was the attitude. Might as well. I've got nothing else going on in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
legit.
Might as
for me
well.
as well. I'm actually surprised. Maybe this is so I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, and it was the big part. It was like, this is my one creative outlet, actually, is this space over here. But then as well, I still really wanted to prove that we could do it.
Yeah.
And it was like I'd be hanging out with a mate, but I'm surprised that I did it for so long, because this was at the end of a really busy work day a lot of the time after NZME, and I'd pick you up and take you out to Playtech, and we'd both be tired and like not necessarily too inspired to be doing it, but we just did it anyway.
And then one of us would edit it up and release it, and it would do
poorly.
Kind of poorly,
would lose subscribers.
Literally lose subscribers.
Yeah.
However, what we didn't realize was actually happening the whole time.
Yeah.
Is we were losing the old kind of meaningless subscribers, the ones that were never going to hang around, and we were actually slowly gaining this little cult following.
Yeah.
But we didn't realize that.
We didn't realize that.
We all we saw was the subscriber number go down, and we're like, oh God.
Yeah. All you think is you're getting no new followers, and you're just losing.
And you're losing
people gradually.
Literally losing some.
Yeah.
The episode I come in is 31. But I actually filmed episode 30. So the very first time I joined you guys, we did 2 episodes. We did the episode that I'm in.
Yeah.
And we also did the Christmas episode. Where Rowan's got a haircut and rolls in
Rowan's on the little
Segway.
And I filmed that one,
thing, whatever
and
it is.
I had the foresight then to be like, this episode I shouldn't be in. We should release this first.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wrap up the year, and then I'll be in. The
My
next
God,
episode.
he was already directing.
I literally remember.
He's
that
already
quite
playing
well.
4D chess.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But in a lot of those early episodes, there's still, like, I know it may have been demoralizing. You felt like you're just doing it as an afterwork thing. There's a lot of creativity in a lot of those early episodes.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to go back and watch. Like, I can't believe it's 30. I thought it was less than that. To watch those, because you're right. There were some episodes I'm still like really proud of. I guess one of those is the Mac repair one with Guy, and there was like it's a short film really with multiple locations and and obviously some really short ones. But I can't remember 30 episodes between.
And there's also the beginning of the game logic in there as well with the DayZ episode.
Oh,
where it's not even set in playtech.
Yeah.
That's a weird board episode, isn't it?
is.
We're like, now for some reason we're in like, the middle of a field.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's a
we were like-
zombie.
The concept of having a standalone skit just by itself, not part of board, was like, we might as well make it part of board.
Yeah.
So we'll say that they're inside the video game.
Yeah.
So we're now already established in the concept of being
Players
playing inside a video game.
Yeah.
But it's just in a very prototype
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Now, we do need to wrap up, but I've got one last question. Coming to the next evolution of Viva La Dirt League, you met another guy who would end up being the third member of Viva La Dirt League. How attractive did you find him at the first meeting?
So
Good question.
I immediately barred up.
Yeah.
And I
lusted for him.
I had to change my pants.
But there you go.
Yeah. It was really awkward. We both had to change our pants, and we met you. We met this guy.
This random guy.
And this random guy, and we were just like, excuse me, and we both mutually left. And
so the spoilers, the third guy's me. I did find that weird that you guys both stood
I
up and
immediately
left briefly and
like,
came back.
Only people watching the video will just see me kind of go, oh shit.
it was a really weird encounter. Like,
excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, it was.
for me, it was
strange.
the handshake. We had a handshake, and it was just the physical, the skin to skin contact. I was like, and I had to leave.
Yeah.
To wrap up, I guess what is chapter one of this Viva La Dirt. I just want to tell the story that we've told before a few times of the shared memory Rowan and I have about the losing subscribers and the whole board thing before Adam joined, which was us standing on Rowan's balcony, and probably having
We're having a cigarette.
because we had cigarettes sometimes then. We weren't
Naughty
smokers,
boys.
I know, but we did have the occasional cigarette because we're filmmakers. Apparently you have to.
You have to be looking like you're thinking.
Yeah.
About
You have to be
something
looking like
arty.
you're a creative. Like how can you look creative without a cigarette? You
Yeah.
can't. You simply can't. Anyway, and we were like, maybe we were having a D&M moment. So Rowan said to me, maybe we're just not that good. And I couldn't argue that because I thought we were pretty good. Like I thought what we were making was pretty good. But there's no way people who like aren't aware. It's so difficult to explain. Dumb people don't know they're dumb. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I was like, I think it's good, but shit, maybe you're right. Maybe we're not that good.
Maybe we're delusional.
Yeah, maybe we're delusional. But the fact that we could actually have that thought and have an honest conversation about it suggested that at least we had the like open-mindedness and the
self-awareness,
The self-awareness.
to ask the question.
yeah.
But I do remember kind of
was
going
that a
like,
conversation of should we stop?
I think it was. I think we had a few of those.
because
before we
I
joined.
remember kind of just going, man, we're just not. I feel like we've got something, but we're just not getting the numbers. It's just not. Like, look at this facts.
Look at the
maybe
facts.
we just got to accept we're just not that good,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my initial the first time I saw the YouTube channel, I think it may have even been prior to meeting you, or like
Yeah.
Mm.
I knew we're going to do that Heineken job together.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll check them out because I was told you guys were YouTubers. I genuinely saw some amazing raw creativity. Just
Yeah.
in my mind, I was like, that just needs to be focused
Man,
slightly.
yeah. God, it would have been nice to hear that from somebody like while we were doing
Yeah.
this.
I think I would have been too, again, back to communication, too poor of a communicator
Yeah,
at the time
same.
to be like, hey, people I just met, you've got some raw creative energy.
Yeah.
Let's focus that.
Let's
In
focus
fact,
that.
that would have been weird to
That would
hear
have been
from an
weird.
external
Yeah. I would have
person.
actually been quite scared of you.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that there are photos. I don't remember remember, don't know where they are, of you at one of our Viva La Dirt League Playtech
That was
tournaments, StarCraft 2
prior
tournaments.
to even knowing you guys existed.
Prior to knowing us, that Adam competed in a StarCraft 2 tournament that Viva La Dirt League and Playtech worked on together.
Yeah.
And you probably versed one of us.
I remember quite well. I versed. It was a tournament structure.
Yeah.
You main Protoss or Terran?
I was Terran.
You're Terran. Scum.
Well, in that very first bracket, what do you call it in a tournament? I versed Rowan.
Yeah.
And he tried to Zerg rush me.
Yeah.
And failed, and I won.
Oh my God.
And then my next match was against someone else, and then my third match was against you, and you absolutely fucking destroyed me.
Man, I wish
And then I was out.
with all that was good that replay existed somewhere and I could see that because that would just be a piece for the archives. And and so we didn't even know Adam. But looking back, I was like, holy shit, Adam! What are you? Adam's there. Yeah.
I suppose we need to do a chapter 2, really.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because it's just getting good.
Yeah.
It's just getting good.
Well, we'll hold chapter 2 for another time and wrap this one up.
Wrap it out.
Wrap it out.
Wrap it out, Rowan.
Oh, yeah. Viva La Dirt League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Early days.
Viva La Schmirt League. Yeah.
Already
We
lost it.
did things back in the day. We did things. We gotta pay. We gotta get money. Everybody was like, hey.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what you doing, son?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, stick it up your bum. I was like, yo, yeah, Viva La Dirt League.
Rhyme Starcraft.
Yeah, we just started the origins. We got the origins. We got the schmiggity schmarigins. Yeah, because there's people making videos, making music videos, getting successful. The money ruins everything. That's a rap.
Oh, that
was really good.
particularly bad.
Speaking of Viva La Dirt League, we need to go film now.
We need to go film.